So films, in this lecture, I'll be dealing with what is an X-ray film, the definition of an X-ray film, types of the film, and composition of the X-ray film. So as you all know, X-ray beam is defined as a beam of energy having power to penetrate any substance and produce a resultant image on the radiographic film. So what's an X-ray film? So X-ray film is basically an image receptor which is used in radiography, and the term image means picture or reflection of an object, and the receptor is anything that responds to stimulus. So an image receptor which is used in radiology to create the image or a photograph of the substance or an object is called as an X-ray film. The X-ray films can be classified according to the sensitivity into direct film or non-screen film and indirect film or a screen film. So a direct film is a film which is sensitive to X-ray photons, and an indirect film or a screen film is sensitive to visible light photons. So that is one modality of classification of the X-ray film based on the sensitivity to X-ray photons or to the visible light. And the sensitivity to the visible light is again classified into blue light sensitive films and green light sensitive films. Now the next classification of the X-ray film is based on the emulsion pattern, that is whether it's a single emulsion film or a double emulsion film. That is a film which has one side emulsion is called as a single emulsion film, and which has emulsion on both sides is called as a double emulsion film. Now another classification is according to the use of the film, that is intraoral film, extraoral film, and duplicating films. So as the word intraoral means which is kept inside the oral cavity, and they are classified again into pedioapical film, occlusal film, and the wide wing films. So those films vary according to the sizes also that I will be dealing in the coming slides. And another classification of the X-ray film is based on the speed of the film which we use for radiology technique, and they are slow speed film which is given designation of letters A, B, and C, and fast speed film, that is film speed D, E, and F, and a hyper speed film which is given a letter G. Now the next classification of the film is according to the packaging of the film, that is how the film is being packed and available. That is either a single film packet or a double film packet. Now this is the chart which is showing the intraoral film speed classification. As I told earlier, we have different speed films which is designated with different alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, and hyperspeed G. And here in the C film speed, you can see the speed range is 6 to 12 roentgens, D is 12 to 24, E is 24 to 48, and F is 48 to 96. So as the alphabet's order is increasing, the speed of the film is also increasing. Now, according to size, we had classified into intraoral films. I told earlier, we have the pedioapical film, bipolar film, and the occlusal films. Now, let's see how these films are classified on the size. So, we have the size 0 film, that is 22 into 35 millimeter size. Then we have the size 1 intraoral film, that is 24 into 40 mm. Size 2 film, that is 31 into 41 mm. And then we have the size 3 film, which is 27 into 54 mm, and the occlusal film, that is 57 into 76 mm size. And we have various extraoral films which can be available in different sizes ranging from 5 into 7 in size, 6.5 into 8 in size, 6 into 12, 8 into 10 inch, and 10 into 12 inches. So these different sizes of the extraoral films are used for different extraoral radiographic techniques. And you can see on the right hand side the pictorial representation of the sizes of the film. You have the size 0, 22 to 35, size 1, 24 to 40, 31 into 41, size 2, and size 3, 27 into 54, and the largest size intraoral film, that is 57 into 76, that is the occlusal film. So all these sizes you have to remember which is commonly asked in my voice question. Now next, according to the processing, the films can be classified into manual processing film, automatic processing films, and the self-developing films that will be taken during the processing classes. Now let's see what is the composition of the intraoral film packet. So as I told, intraoral films, they are the direct exposure films. They provide a high resolution image and they are available in a thickness of 0.18 millimeter in the size. So the packet of a film contains these following components. That is an outer wrapper. It's an outer package which is waterproof, either made up of plastic or vinyl component, and it is also non-absorbent. And inside that wrapper, you will be able to see a black paper. Inside the black foil or the inner paper, we have the film kept, and on one side of the X-ray film, we have the lead foil. So this is a basic composition of an X-ray film packet. So you can see the pictorial representation wherein there is a outer cover which is violet in color in this film packet. Then inside you can see there is a black paper. Once you lift the black paper, there is a film inside and also there is a silver colored lead foil backing. So this is a cross section of the film packet. This is an adult size film which is having a blue color. And once you open, you can see there is inside the black paper and also the film with the lead foil. Now, what is the purpose of this lead foil inside the film packet? So here we can see this is a cross-section representation how you are placing the film inside the patient's mouth. So you can see the film is placed behind the tooth and the X-ray beam is falling first on the tooth, then on the film. Now you have certain tissues behind the film, also the deeper structures or the connective tissue structures. That's a muscle, the tongue, all those things. So you don't want to expose these deep tissues behind the film. So the purpose of the lead foil is to absorb the backscattered radiation, that is to prevent the unwanted exposure to the deeper tissues. So imagine you keep a film without a lead foil. What will happen? The instant rays of the X-ray beam which is falling on the film, after there the scattered rays will go and fall on the deeper tissue. So that is creating an unwanted exposure to the patient's other tissues. So in order to prevent this, we are keeping a lead foil in the film packet. Now, what is the composition of this X-ray film? Now, what we had seen was the composition of an X-ray film packet. What all things are there inside an X-ray film packet? Now, let's see what is the cross-section of this film, which is the image receptor per se. So, when you take a cross-section of the X-ray film, we can see all these structures. The first one is a base. So, that is the innermost structure which is forming the X-ray film, and on both sides of the base you have an adhesive layer which is creating a uniform adhesion of the emulsion to the base. So emulsion is the third structure which is seen on the outer aspect of the adhesive, and this adhesive layer is creating a sticking purpose, the uniform adhesion of this emulsion to the base which is the innermost portion, and on the outermost layer you have a supercoat or a protective layer which is a clear gelatinous structure which prevents the mechanical damage to the film. So these are the composition of an X-ray film. You have the base, you have the adhesive layer or the subcoating, you have the emulsion, and you have the protective layer. And the emulsion, it is made up of a gelatinous matrix which serves as a vehicle, and on this gelatinous matrix you have the silver halide crystals incorporated, and it is this silver halide crystals which is helping on exposure to the X-ray beam to produce a image, and that image before processing is called as a latent image. So that is an invisible image which is created on the surface of the emulsion on exposure of the silver halide crystals to the X-ray beam. So this is a cross-sectional picture of an X-ray film. You have the base, you have the adhesive, you have the emulsion, and a supercoat or a protective layer. And the base, as I told, it is a clear transparent structure which is made up of either a cellulose triacetate or a polyester polyethylene tetraphthalate. That's the composition of the base. And on the emulsion, you have the silver halide crystals on a gelatinous matrix, and the silver halide crystals are either a silver bromide or a silver iodide, and on the surface there are certain sulfur materials which is used to create certain imperfections to increase the sensitivity, and this will make the film sensitive to X-rays and the visible light. Now, in the classification, we saw there is an extraoral film, that is, which is being kept outside the oral cavity. So, a little bit about the extraoral film, you can see in this image, this is called as the cassette. The cassette is something which is used to hold the film extraorally. So, you keep the extraoral film inside this cassette, you close the cassette, then you expose the cassette to create an image. And this is a cross-sectional picture of the extraoral film, where again you can see there is a base of the film, there is an adhesive layer, and there is an emulsion and a super coat. And outside that you have the screen. That screen becomes a part of this cassette, not the film. So this is a cross-sectional image of the X-ray film which is used in the extraoral radiography. So the equipments used for extraoral radiography involves a cassette and the intensifying screen. That's again a separate topic. And you have two types of films which is used for extraoral radiography, either the screen films or the non-screen films, that is based on the sensitivity to the X-ray beam and the light. The films which is sensitive to the light is called the screen films, and which is sensitive to the X-ray beam is called the non-screen films. That's about the extraoral films. Now, there are faster films which is used for panoramic radiography that will create less image details, because as the speed of the film increases, the resolution of the image decreases. And you have the medium speed film which creates a high contrast, and films with less contrast and wide latitude which is used in cephalometrics to create a soft tissue detail. So to conclude this lecture, the takeaway points is that the X-ray films are the image receptors which is being used in the radiology department for radiographic picturization of a structure which is needed to be seen. And we have the films which is intraoral films and the extraoral films separately available. And there are different types of classification of the films based on the sensitivity, based on the speed, based on the modality of usage, based on the method of processing, based on the packaging. And the basic composition of the film is the base on which there is an emulsion. The emulsion contains a vehicle matrix on which the silver halide crystals are being coated, and you have a protective outer layer. And after the exposure, the image which is created on the film is called as a latent image, which is an invisible image, which is becoming visible only after processing in your either the manual processing or the automatic processing. So these are the references, textbooks which are available for the topic X-ray films. You can either go through White and Foro textbook of oral radiology or to the textbook of dental and maxillofacial radiology written by Freddy R. Karchotkar. Thank you.